In his recent announcement, Assemblyman Adrin Nazarian said that he plans to run in 2024 to replace Paul Krikorian to represent Council District 2 in the Los Angeles City Council. That district includes the neighborhoods of North Hollywood, Valley Glen, Toluca Lake, and more. Let's support Adrin Nazarian and secure our voice in LA City Council. What can we do to motivate the voters?
Ashalus, it's great to see you. I think the motivation has to be on an individual level, but we all carry the civic duty. We each have to do our part, and I think it comes in different forms. It comes in making a financial contribution. It comes with going out there and voting. It comes with raising awareness about what each candidate stands for. And essentially, if we as a community want to see change, we have to be part of that change. And it begins with getting involved, being part of the campaign, being part of the financial contribution, and most importantly, raising the awareness, because we as a community have priorities in terms of what's important to us, and to have an elected member that supports those priorities or understands the background that we all share is extremely important. So I think we have to find a way to motivate the young voters, the old voters, and ultimately the middle where, the power and vote is stuck. And I think we can collectively do that.
This is the first event for your run for LA City Council, and supporters are just coming in, and it's amazing. You're loved, you're respected, and people believe in you.
Thank you, Arshalus Can. It's really an honor and a pleasure to have the support of a lot of community members. I'm looking forward to a very robust campaign, and several friends wanted to get together and host an event, and so I was extremely appreciative, and and here we are, the first event, starting off the campaign, and I look forward to being a very successful event and lead the way to a successful campaign.
It's the end of the year, and everybody is so excited with this news.
I'm excited myself. I just finished 10 years in the state legislature, where we accomplished a lot of great work for San Fernando Valley, for the community, for Los Angeles, for California, and also for many communities throughout California. California is home to so many immigrant populations and communities, including Armenians. There's estimates of maybe 700,000 or over Armenians living in all of California, and especially in LA City, roughly maybe about 300,000 or more Armenians. And so it's important for the Armenian community to feel that they have representation, that they have a seat at the table, and also given how we've lived as a community, where we all come from, whether after the fall of the Soviet Union or with a revolution in Iran and the subsequent war in Iraq, or the turmoil in Lebanon. We've constantly had to move. Generations of Armenians have had to move. And it's critical for those of us growing up here and raising our families here to know we're not going to move again, that we are staying here, we're laying our deep roots and foundation in the state and in the city, and we're going to grow with California as California is growing, as Los Angeles is growing. California is now the fourth largest economy in the world, and Armenians as a community are contributing to that. And so I want to make sure that we always have a seat at the table politically, and we continue growing.
Girard, there's lots of excitement in the air, and we're here to support Adrin Nazarian for LA City Council 2024.
Thank you, Arshalus. Adrin is a special member of our community. For me personally, he's my old schoolmate from Ferahian, so our connection is long. We're so proud of all of his achievements, but most importantly, he's now brought to light things we've never seen before in our community, specifically in terms of receiving big financial contributions from California to the Armenian Museum, to other Armenian organizations, has opened up our horizons to new funding sources, to new possibilities. A lot of the pro bono work that we do, some of it got funded by the monies that came thanks to Adrin's work in the capital in Sacramento. Now he wants to join the Los Angeles City Council and help Paul Krikorian continue the legacy of our Armenians in the Los Angeles City Council, which we're obviously 100% behind him, and we welcome everybody else to lend a hand and support. He needs our wind in his sails, as they say. He needs our support because he's doing very good things for not just for us Armenians, generally for also the population in Los Angeles. He's a good guy. I know his family, I know his wife, I know the extended family. He's a good guy doing good things, and it just helps that he's an Armenian guy doing extra helpful stuff for the Armenians.
He's one of us, and we need our voice in LA City Council.
Absolutely. We need every voice we can get everywhere, especially here in the largest diaspora in Los Angeles.
Lara, why do you think Adrin is the right candidate?
Well, Arshalus, the answer is very obvious, at least to me. Adrin has been our son in every way possible. When I say our son, that means our representative, the true representative of the Armenian community throughout his career as an elected official. And now he's going to be running for a seat that is a very crucial seat. It's a city council seat. And that's a seat that's going to be representing, again, a lot of Armenians in that district. And Paul Krikorian is currently the person representing us, but now he's vying for that seat. And he has been so wonderful to our community for the community that he has been representing, that we are looking forward to someone like Adrin to represent our interests, to push for everything that's good for the community overall, and especially the Armenian community, through whether it be policy-related issues, Armenian cause-related issues, hopefully financially getting support to some of our wonderful organizations, the nonprofits that have been working in the community over the years. Again, to me and for me, it's a no-brainer. Adrin is the one.
Երիտասարդներին ներկայացնում ես այսօր այս fundraiser-ին եւ եկել ես քո աջակցությունը ցուցաբերելու Adrin Nazarianին։
Այո, Արշալույս ջան, այսօր այստեղ եմ գտնվում մեր լավ ընկեր Adrin Nazarianին աջակցելու համար։ Ոչ միայն ես եւ բոլոր իմ ընկերները, հարազատները եւ կարելի ասել ողջ հայության մեծ մասը գտնվում է այստեղ աջակցելու մեր լավ ընկերոջը, որպեսզի 2024 թվականին ընտրություններում տոնի իր հաղթանակը։
You know, I've been to a lot of functions and I've seen you speak, and when you speak from the heart. But at every speech that you've given, and I've watched a lot of them, you somehow find a way to tie your purpose to your roots. You talk about your parents, you talk about your children, you talk about your wife. And I think to me that speaks volumes because you are humble. And I think we need more of you. And I think you're going to do amazing things. So by show of solidarity, by show of unity, here we are asking you to please take charge and lead us. And we will absolutely find ways to support you in any way that we possibly can. So Adrin Nazarian, everybody, come on down.
So first and foremost, just want to say thank you all for being here. Thursday night in the middle of the week, especially with the holiday seasons, just having come from Thanksgiving, working our way to Christmas. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to the wonderful restaurant owners, Vahe and Daron, for opening your wonderful services, as well as your wonderful place that you've just opened up 2 months ago, and starting out your business here in Glendale. I won't blame you for that, but I'm looking forward to seeing you make your move also to the San Fernando Valley as well, because there's a large both Armenian as well as non-Armenian community who would benefit greatly from your wonderful cuisine. Mariam Jan, thank you for Mariam and Armen. Thank you very much. Thank you for co-hosting this with Mestrop and Adrine. To all of you, thank you very much. I have there's new faces, and there's folks with very long histories, some who have known me extremely long time, going back to the time that I was in high school or my AYF days. So you've seen the maturity and the growth, hopefully. But look, I don't want to talk too long. What I just want to say is I've had the humble opportunity of serving the 46th Assembly District for the last decade in the state legislature, where we've done some great work. I had lost count, and my district director, Steve Ferguson, who's standing in the back, told me that we passed 73 pieces of legislation, varying in degrees, everything from healthcare to transportation to housing. But some of the ones were not either bills even. Some of the ones that you spend most time working on are either other people's bills or administrative work, or pushing for budgetary changes and reforms. Not everything has to be legislation. A lot of things can also be done by tweaking things and fixing things, because we all bring certain expertise to these jobs. And one of the reasons why I ran for office, and I'm going to put my wife on the spot here, I had an opportunity to run for the state assembly back in 2009 when my former boss, Paul Krikorian, ended up running for LA City Council and winning. And so created a vacancy, and a lot of folks expected me to run for that seat because I had managed other campaigns in the area. I decided not to, because I wanted to stay as his chief of staff, focus on his work and make him successful in LA City. And I wasn't too crazy about running for the state. The state had its challenges. And also, I didn't see myself as a state legislator. If I was ever going to run for something, it was going to be LA City Council, because I feel there's so much. I've been a staffer for many different elected officials, and LA City, local jurisdiction, you have the power to make a difference. Whether it's planning, zoning, or economic development opportunities, you can actually have an imprint on what an area is going to look like. And if you are very focused on it, you can make it progress and be something that leaves legacy behind for generations to come for the community that you happen to represent. So I was always moved by how much work you can do in the city versus at the state or federal level, because it sounds nice to be a federal Congress member, but it's, you don't get to make a difference the way you can at a local level. So I decided not to. But 3 years after that, redistricting happened, and so this seat was created in the San Fernando Valley that I ended up running for. But before I decided to run, something my wife said to me stuck with me and glued everything. It's interesting. Your life partner knows you better sometimes and verbalizes things for you. She said, I want our kids to know that you, coming as an immigrant, can achieve this and to be able to bring your heritage and your experience to life. My background is very similar to everyone's here. Whether you arrived here or your parents arrived here in the 30s or 40s, or you came here during some kind of a revolution or war in the 70s, 80s, all of our histories are intertwined. As Armenians, we've all come here at a different stage from the impacts of the genocide. And my family has moved 4 times during the last 3 generations, spanning a little over 100 years, going all the way back to the Russian Revolution and the attacks during the genocide on Shushi, where my grandparents from my dad's side had to flee and settle in Baku. And after that, successive movements constantly, with my grandmother serving 5 years' time in a Russian work camp in a gulag in Siberia, to other devastating impacts where every time you move, you know this, we all know this, you lose a little or you lose a lot. You uproot your family, you lose your investments, you have to learn a whole new culture and language. And when I came here to the United States, I never thought I'd be running for public office, because I came from Iran. We only had a Shah, And we had a parliament that wasn't elected. So it's not as if being an elected official was something that I aspired to, because I never thought that way. But when I started working in college for different elected officials, and because I wanted to get into a good law school, so I was padding my resume, I also started to learn the value of organizing. And I saw how important it is for us to start working together in one direction. We can have different ideas, but we need to work towards one direction, focused, so that we achieve the goal at hand. And so started working on campaigns to get people elected who I felt would best hear various communities. Because we live here. As Armenians, we're a growing part of the California fabric. We pay taxes. We make investments. We make investments like this restaurant. And a little while ago, I was talking to a couple of friends saying in 1981, Glendale looked very different than what it looks like today. Because, you know, the successive immigrant generations that came here improved it, made it better. And so, going back to why I ran for state legislature, my wife said, you know what? You need to capture all of that experience and you need to run so that we tell our kids that they're shareholders in California, that they are always going to be welcome here, that they are part owners of the state. We're not moving again. Our kids are not going to move. Our grandkids are not going to move. And that's a message that I want all of us to live by, because we've moved so many times. We don't want to get involved in government. The areas, the countries we've come from, we weren't part of the decision making in those countries. We need to change that. We need to think about how we make decisions and how we move forward by being intricate members of our community, of our neighborhoods. It's not just about running for office either. It's about getting involved in your local neighborhood councils and homeowner associations. Homeowner associations are very powerful in California, by the way. Some of the attorneys, leave it to the attorneys to tell you that. You know, or a chamber of commerces, or whatever associations there are. You become more ingrained in the fabric of the community, and then at some point you run for city council, school board, community college, wherever that leads. So I want to see more of us engaged. I want to see more of us taking part in the decision-making process and feeling like we're shareholders, we're stockholders. So that could only be achieved by organizing events like this. So thank you very much again, Mesrop and Mariam, for coming together, putting this event. And thank you to my wife for always making sure that I could leave and go for 4 days to Sacramento every week. I come back to home where, you know, everything is running well, everyone is healthy, and everyone is looking forward to spending time together. So thank you for allowing me to do that for the last 10 years. I wouldn't have been able to do it without you. Thank you all for being here. I'm humbled with your support. Thank you.
For advertising on Inside TV, please call 818-653-0199.